Hey, this is Steve Domenico in the Room podcast here with Glory, the Fury, Watson, unbeaten, 6-0, fighting November 9th, NEF 41 Collision Course. I love how Matt changes the name each card. But welcome to the show there, Glory. Big fight for you, fighting for the Strawweight title, the vacant title for NEF. How you feeling about this opportunity?
Pretty amazing. It's an awesome opportunity to go for a second belt as an amateur and just kind of keep getting experience everywhere that I can, and really thankful that Cara was willing to come out and take the fight.
A big fight here. You got a big challenge here. This girl is 9-4, I do believe. Only 21. She's got 13 fights under her belt, I think, since she was 18. I think she had her first amateur fight at 18. A lot of finishes, a lot of submission finishes in her short career. What are you thinking about this matchup, and how did you get her to challenge for that 115-pound title?
So in terms of the fight itself, Matt Peterson actually went through and set that up. We had reached out to her a couple times about wanting the fight, and things kind of fell through, and it took a little bit longer than we wanted, but we were able to get the match up. And in terms of how the fight's going to go, we really have no idea. We don't know what she expects from me. I don't know what to expect from her. As I've said in all my other interviews, I don't watch footage. I watched maybe one round of hers just to kind of get a feeling for how she moved. But it's important that you take it one step at a time and don't worry about what they used to do and worry about what they're doing in the present.
And of course, that's because, from the last fight to the next, you're a completely different fighter, especially, not only at the pro level, but in the amateur level, you're always learning, you're always absorbing. You had your first fight at the 115-pound weight class. Last card, I do believe you came away with a vicious first-round finish. You predicted for that to happen. You did talk about, the talent that was coming and challenge you wasn't the challenge that you're coming up next. But it's steps. You were just jumping into that weight class. How is it the second time around having your second training camp at the strawweight level?
So I actually started cutting weight. I started lighter this camp. I started at 134 for my last camp. I started at 130 for this one. And the weight has been coming off a little bit easier for this camp, which is really helpful. I haven't been feeling quite as miserable, but we're getting to that point, so it's going to happen. But it's been, all in all, it's been a pretty good fight camp in terms of how I'm feeling physically. Excellent.
So easier this time. You're getting used to it. 115, the body feels good. Is this where you're fighting for the title? You already own the 125-pound flyweight title. You're fighting for this title. Is 115 the kind of where you want to stay at in the future, 2020 and whatever's the next after this fight?
That's the plan. We would like to stay at 115. 125, I'm just a little bit too small for that because I'm only 5'2". So hopefully 115 is going to be my home.
Excellent. Well, it showed on your last fight. You're going to be a killer at this weight class. You talk about, your weight, you're kind of small for the flyweight. You fought even at 130, 135, or 140 your first and second fight just to get a matchup. And you're bringing yourself all the way down to 115, and you're 6-0. So you've been fighting bigger girls this whole way through your career. And with Cara, I think 99% of her amateur career has been at the strawweight level. So this is pretty interesting. You're going against a girl that's been there, has a lot of fights at that level. Are you not concerned? But I know you don't watch footage, but she has a lot of experience. What are you going to be looking for from her? And, what's kind of your feeling in there going against somebody with that much experience and, kind of finishing people also?
It's something that you kind of have to look at in every single fight, that no matter how many wins or losses someone has, everyone has weaknesses, everyone has strengths, and it's hopefully my strengths outweigh her strengths and my weaknesses are not as great as hers. But that's kind of the fight game. You have to go into it, taking it one step at a time, as I mentioned earlier, and just going for it.
Training out of Young's.
Yes.
How is that camp? Have you added? I know you got a lot of women there. You got like a fight team there. Few come and go. A lot of revolving doors with women and just fighters in general. Anyone added to the camp, or are you just maintaining that crew that's got you where you are now?
So I have had a pretty solid group of people to train with. Two of my primary partners are from a rival gym. I train with a black belt named Miguel Torres from Titan Athletics, and then Amy McCrae, who's a boxer from Titan Athletics. And then I've also been training a decent amount with JB, so Jason Bell, and he's out of the Rumford area. So he's been really helpful. He's a brown belt, and we've definitely played off each other a lot in this camp, and we both learned things working together. So him and I have gotten along really well.
Yeah, just watching you do pads and the workouts on social media. I mean, you look amazing. You're sharpening your tools. Is this something that you were doing in the last training camps? With these other the other coaches, and you talk about that gym that you're getting some rounds with. Is this something you added in the last two fights or this fight, or is this something that you've been doing since you started?
Really, since I started, we've been trying to add as many people as we can, trying to make a team. I went a while wrestling with the Bucksport High School wrestling team. There were a couple of guys that would come out and wrestle with me from there. As I said, Miguel was coming out, JB was coming out, and it's kind of been progressively increasing, where I'll be hopefully moving to the pro ranks sooner than later, and we need a solid team to make sure that I'm as prepared as I can be.
Awesome. You fought for the 125-pound title back in June, I do believe. How is the feeling? Was it any different because now you're going after 115-pound title? Was there a little more nerves because there was more on the line there, or is a fight to you? And once the belt's wrapped around you, that's when you kind of enjoy it.
As an amateur, you kind of have to look at fights a little bit differently. It has to be more seen as glorified sparring, because that's what it is. It doesn't count for your professional record. If it's a loss, it's a good experience to experience losing when it's going to go away. It's just kind of pushing through everything and facing different types of adversity throughout your amateur career until you go pro and things start to matter.
Excellent. Well, the crowd mattered because you were basically home. You had a lot of people behind you, and you put on a show. It was a short show. Are you looking to have another short show on this one? Do you want to, show a little more and get a little more work in there, or is it in and out for you and on to the next fight?
So, as you mentioned, it's a title fight, so this is a 5-round fight, and we don't have any expectations at all. Just kind of going to go in, feel it out, see what she's doing, what she brings, and see what I'm able to bring, and hopefully really challenge each other.
Excellent. Well, last thing before I let you go, this could be probably your last fight of 2019. I know each fight you're going to have to concentrate on that. But, Gloria, 6-0, could be 7-0. I mean, you've only been fighting for something like 17 months as far as making your AMI debut, and you've been running through people. What's 2020 going to hold? Not to get past this fight, but it's a new year coming, and what's the expectations for the Glory Camp?
We're hoping that sooner we will end up going pro and kind of progressing that way. I have a lot of big things coming in 2020, not just fight-wise, kind of for the gym and my life and everything. So there's some fun things that'll be happening.
Excellent. Well, last thing, Glory, shout outs, and I'll give you my thank yous, and wish you well for that big card in Portland. Let it shout.
Oh my gosh, I gotta see if I can find it.
What do you got? Oh, there you are.
Right.
Yeah, you're there.
Okay, because Kira sent me a list, because I have the world's worst memory and I never want to miss anybody. So with a list, I don't miss.
There you go. Let's give them all their props and all their support. Let's go.
Okay, so probably someone that I want to mention first is Buckwald. There we go. They are actually my talent agent, and they're based out of New York. I work with Scott Hoffman, and he has done some amazing things, and he's a big reason that I have some cool things happening in the next year or so. And then I have an amazing treatment team. I have a licensed massage therapist, my strength and conditioning coach. It's Jen Moon and Ricky Dexter, and they've been super helpful. They've been with me since the beginning. I have my tattoo sponsors that I love him, and he's been increasingly good for his community, which is really nice to see. My dad sponsors me. He works for Aflac, Brand Photography, who does all of the photography for the Bangor fights. He's actually one of my sponsors as well, and he will do photo shoots for me, so that's been really nice. B&B Paving sponsors me. Sea Dog Brewing, Feed Me Fit 207 has been huge. Thunder Pig Boxing, based out of our gym, they're great. The woman who does my hair, she's awesome. The Uppercut 207. She calls anyone that she braids their hair, we're the braid babes.
Well, you gotta look good in there. I mean, you're a fighter, but you are a female, and you gotta look good in there, Glory.
You have to.
Any more?
I'm almost done.
All right, go ahead.
All right, we have HCS Enterprises, Tuffy Bear Discount Furniture, Chaga Man. He gives me chaga, which has been super helpful. I actually sent them to one of my past opponents to help her with one of her weight cuts, so that's cool. We had some new additions recently. Main Man Flavas, which is hot sauce, real fun. And then Float 207 is a local float tank and infrared sauna facility, and they have been absolutely amazing to work with. And as I mentioned, Scott from Buckwald has been huge and
awesome.
Making a big difference.
Well, you're making a big difference because you're giving them a lot of eyes, because Glory, a lot of eyes on you. 6-0, NEF, huge promotion there. Huge card. There's other title fights on there. And, man, I can't wait to see this outcome and see what's going on with you in 2020. You know I'm always following you, and I always appreciate the time coming on. Last thing, Glory, social media, because you've got a lot of training footage on there, a lot of fights under your belt that people will want to check out. Shout it out, and I'll let you get out of here.
My Facebook is Glory Watson MMA, and my Instagram handle is @GloryWatsonMMA.
Awesome. Glory, after the fights, let's have you on the podcast maybe the following week, and we can really see what's next for you, okay?
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Glory.